Hello. I don't know why I started like that, but here we are. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program. There's a lot going on. First of all, a year is 2023, and my doesn't it feel so different already? A year of hope, a year of prosperity and health and wellness and joy and goodwill and good faith, just like last year was, right? Just like last year. Also, I will say, if you have not done so already, please go watch the latest episode of Hey W. We started bright and early this morning, and I woke up and rolled over, and there was an incredible gift in bed next to me, and that gift was Paul Wight. And I got to ask him a lot of questions I've been wanting to ask him for a long time, and I was not expecting, quite frankly, any of the answers. But it's a journey. Definitely our highest production value episode of all time. So please go like it, watch it, comment, share, all that kind of thing, so we can continue to have a production budget. They gave us a little bit of money, and we have to show them that it results in some sort of success. I think that would be the best thing to do. I don't want to talk too much, but I would like everyone to, watch it, please. We put a reminder, do a thing. You must. What else? Oh yeah, underwear. There's these, and they're fun. They're jockey, but look at these fun geometric pattern. I believe I've worn this before. There's triangles. There's a rhombus there. Look at that. It's like me from the future, but the future as imagined in 1994. Do you remember that? Like Lawnmower Man and all that? Oh my God, we have CGI. We have to shoehorn it into everything, but the CGI wasn't that good, you know? Let's talk to people. Midnight Cowboy said, Happy New Year, RJ. Loved Hey this morning. Thank you. So did I. Please go watch it if you have not. Amanda said, Happy New Year, sir. And to your friends. B3 said, Happy New Year, city boys and girls. That's what we should have, city boys. Would have been a good name. It's too late now. Molly Mitchell said, Hello. Hello to you, Molly. Mikey has been a member for 6 months. Happy New Year to you. American Girl is here with the waving and the emojis. Matt D said, Happy New Year. Okay, Gamer said, well, hi to RJ and everyone else. And after this stream will redirect to Jessamyn's stream where, according to her thumbnail, she'll be playing a video game with her dog Orson on her lap, and Orson seems to be wearing headphones. So it's quite an act. Tina said, good morning, all. Sean said, hey, occulties, and Happy New Year. And to Sylvia, who's not near us right now. Tracy said, Happy New Year. Rod said, Happy New Year. I got it. Let me just list the names. Joelle is from the foggy capital of Kansas, the London of America. Christine said, good morning, Happy New Year. Amanda said, my morning was made when I saw Hey and Now Your Lives, the greatest start to a new year. Bazit said, ahoy, comrades. We're just mixing everything there. We're Russian pirates. Do you think astronauts say ahoy? If they were passing, because they're kind of like pirates in a sense. It's a ship. They got to take off. They have to steer the ship, that kind of thing. I wonder if they say ahoy. That's a good question. Maybe I should get an astronaut. Maybe I should get a Roberta Bondar on Hey W. Allie said, welcome 2023. Happy New Year to you, Allie. Mass Sanity. Nails. Po Girl is here. Happy New Year to all of you. EJO said, can you please do a forward roll? Happy 023. No, not here. And you wouldn't even be able to say, I literally have no room to do it. That's absolutely not happening at all. I do songs by request. I do scenes by request. I don't do physical activities by request. I don't know look, here's me doing a forward roll. There you go. And this was given to me by the wonderful Squirrel Squad, who does a lovely, wonderful art. Go follow his page. Go enjoy him. You're not going to get a forward. How are you going to get a forward roll? Why would I do? I'll jump and spin. Okay. I'll move the stool out of the way. That's as good as you're going to get. And this is 9:34. on the first day of the year. So cut me some slack, EJO. Aaron said good morning. Pam said good morning. Bassett said Happy New Year from Pakistan, my naked friend. Right on schedule. Wishing you nothing but success. Haven't seen the Big Poll episode yet. Will do after the stream. Please do. You'll love it. Dan said morning, folks, and Happy New Year. Neil said, is Sanjay still asleep? When I left the room, he was. I didn't really notice him there. So he's a silent sleeper, like a little penciled babe. So Suplexus has said, Happy New Year to RJ and the best group of people on YouTube. You all are great. Mikey G said, Lawnmower Man did not age well. I looked up their fucking video game, and I should play it one day in one of my videos. It's brutal. It's even worse than the movie. Miss Andy said, if I had known you were going to be talking to Paul Wight, I would have asked you to try to talk him into unblocking me on Twitter. What did you do, Miss Andy? What did you say to Paul? He was friends with me for about 10 minutes. Not anymore. Susie said, good morning and a happy and even more successful New Year for RJ. Thank you. Let me go back. There we go. Pam said, yes, we asked about Sanjay. We all worry about Sanjay. I think he's doing fine. He'll let himself out and check himself out. Okay, Gamer said, we were trying something new for 2023. Okay, Orson. Jessamine just let her dog take over and just paw on the keyboard. Christy said, Happy New Year, everyone. Hope everyone has an awesome 2023, even the people that she doesn't like. KB said, Happy New Year. Poll Girl said, you're in bed with Big Ed Dixon. Yes, I was. I don't know about the Ed part. Squirrel Squad said, Happy New Year, RJ. Happy New Year to you, Squirrel Squad. Lauren said, Happy New Year. And chat, I'm very hungover. And if you want to see a hungover giant, go watch AEW. Suplexus has said, drinking game. Take a sip of coffee every time RJ says Happy New Year in this episode. I'm going to have an aneurysm. Let me press. Let me start drinking a little early here. I have a big cheat meal lined up for myself today. I have... my brother got like a corporate chocolate gift basket of all chocolates and shit that he didn't want. So I said, that's going to be my Sunday. And I have 3 pints of ice cream, vegan ice cream, that Nug has been raving about for months. And they're all mine. I got them. They're all mine. The flavors, how fantastic is this? One ice cream is Earl Grey flavored ice cream. Sounds stupid until you think about it. It sounds pretty good. And the other one is, I think, candy cane and chocolate. And then the other one's peanut brittle and something. I can't remember. But I'm going to demolish them today. Today is my day because started a new diet tomorrow. It's a whole thing. It's not a whole thing. I'm not upset about it. But it'll be a good way to go. Mia has been a member for 4 months and said, I'm moving on up. And this is the East Side. 4 months. Hope to meet you in 2023. I should be around more. If the more people ask for me and watch the stuff, I think the more I'll be around. Furthermore, I do want to say is my understanding that we have enough channel members that we can have a new emoji, a custom emoji. I have no idea. I'm open to suggestions, and then I'll put it to a vote at some point, I guess. If that moves anyone. Opress said, who's the Blackbeard of the astronaut world? There's got to be a mean Russian astronaut that was messing stuff up back in the day, right? Or was Blackbeard one of those monkeys they sent into space? So Sierra said, good morning and Happy New Year. Ronnie Rosenberg said, had to stop the new AEW and say hi and Happy New Year. Thanks for the endless entertainment. Thank you. You can go back. Enjoy it. Bassett said, remember that John Mulaney bit about people dressing up and waving their hats as ships sailed off? They should do that for astronauts. They do. People go to Cape Canaveral. I have a couple friends who went with their moms, both of them, because they all love space. And they said, this is an experience we need to see. And it's one of those things where you have to book a 3-day stay because sometimes the astronauts will go, it's too windy. And then they just won't go. It's such a delicate art. Aaron sent a lovely Periwinkle tribute and said, everyone's resolution should be to like these videos and to like the AEW videos and to share those. Share them to everywhere you can and help some bullshit. Talk about Lawnmower Man. Let's just tell the machine that we like these videos so I can continue to live. That's basically what we're doing here. Queen said good morning and Happy New Year. Nail said happy cultiversary. Mia Dawn said good morning and happiness in New Year's. Josh Cutler said, we have a house rule that we don't eat while watching AEW because it's so funny. There's a serious risk of choking. multiple people have told me they spit out their drink, and I would take that as a badge of honor to ruin laptops across the country. But thank you for being safe, Josh. I appreciate your concern for yourself. Amanda said, can't wait for the jump and spin gif. Everybody liked my spin. Ronnie said, do I have any dream guests for AEW in 2023? Well, there's quite a few big names that are certainly left outstanding. Daniel Bryan, John Moxley, Saraya, I certainly perhaps a Jamie Hayter at some juncture, the Young Bucks, Kenny, Pac. There is a lot. And then there's people who want to come on again, too. But beyond that, Hangman Adam Page. Beyond that, and there's people like Jake Roberts and Jerry Lynn. I could go on for quite a long time. And then there's Ishida and a Takeshita. Beyond all that, and a Rick Ross. Beyond all that, in March, I think it's March 13th, will be the 1-year anniversary of AEW. And hopefully the show has been successful enough that we can lean onto Decay a little to get, I don't know, a Tony Shalhoub or Steven Weber or a BB Newirth or even a George Takei. Linda Lavin, I follow on Instagram. She's doing good. So for an occasion like that, talk about your forbidden door. I'd like to go really outside the box. Or maybe we could have The Undertaker on and you can plug his one-man show. Flower Boy said, hey, RJ, Happy New Year from India. Oh, God, I blew it now. I totally blew it. Tom said, was Joan Rivers or Bob Newhart an influence on today's episode in bed? I mean, no, I think that's how I wanted to spend my New Year's Day. I don't think that was an immediate thought. I'm sure implicitly, yes, but that's how I wanted to spend my day. And I couldn't think of a better way. Rob said, if you can't do a 4-roll, maybe you could take a shit in a bath. And I'm happy that's coming back. And I'm happy that we're no longer afraid to talk about it. Joel said, piggybacking off AEW this morning, are there insider wrestling terms you hate to hear when fans use them? I just don't like talking to fans in general. I also hate that insider, you can't say that. That's like weird policing of language. I mean, I hate when they're misused because people don't know what they're talking about. That bothers me. That bothers me with any word. So yeah, in that sense, then yes, I came all the way around. Candy said, I spent yesterday watching you play video games before turning on the Twilight Zone. Great way to ring in the New Year's. I'd say that's a good shot and chaser. I should collab and I should introduce some Twilight Zones. Ronnie said, why doesn't Tony Khan put you in a ring? You got the nipples of a successful world championship. Yeah, I got those Pedro Morales nipples. Suplexus said, you look great, RJ. It looks like 2023 has been kind to you so far. Yep, so far. Human Venture said, Happy New Year, wonderful people. I never expected RJ to wake up next to Paul. David Arquette, maybe. And I've done that before, certainly off camera. Let me pour. I pressed the coffee, but I didn't pour it. And if you want some coffee, not just mine, but shitty Danhausen's too, you can go to rootlesscoffee.com. Mia said, can you text Dalton and Matt Taven Happy New Year and Nug? No, we're not doing New Year text. That was a Christmas thing. We're not. I did because everybody that I would have texted Happy New Year to, I already texted Merry Christmas to, and it's too close. Even people who don't, I have Jewish friends I texted just saying how, I did all that stuff on Christmas. Dalton and the boys and the Kingdom are people I need on the show. Prince Nana, I need on the show. Matt Sandy said, Paul White had a series of matches with Ryback, and they weren't good. I was slightly critical of them on Twitter. Both of them ended up blocking me. I challenged the use of the word slightly. I'm genuinely sad that I upset White that much. I am sure, as with certain things where mild criticism affects me, I was very insecure about it. So he was already upset, and you gave him a reflection of himself. And he had to deal with himself. He blocked himself. Hope that makes you feel better. Kyle said, that is a cheat day. Hell of a way to start the year. Rob said, eating 3 pints in a day sounds great. until you try to eat 3 pints in a day. I know it's a real challenge. I'm gonna have to start early. Leo said, "What would you rather, Vern Gagne as the fourth member of the NWO? I already want to say that instead of Million Dollar Man, or Vern as the higher power. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. That one." Amanda said a hey sign emoji. Okay, I can't do a hey sign emoji because it's not really mine. I can't really transplant that here. I don't think that would be kosher legally speaking. So try to keep it to me. Sean used the I don't get that emoji. That's an example of something that's mine. Kyle, a coffee cup we already have. Captain said Earl Grey. I must say it's a local tea, aka Baldy wants a mauve beret. Rise, wonderful promotion. Developing tomorrow's wrestling attraction. Said an emoji of Charles Nelson Riley. Well, be in touch with the estate and let me know what they say. Queen said French press emoji. Kyle said underwear emoji. Christine said Sylvia emoji. That's, I think, a good idea. That one good idea. Leo said, who remembers pervert Charles Dempsey Brown? That was a guy that was here a lot, and he would be upset about my underwear. And he's like, show your underwear again. And I had to block him. Nail said, I don't think I'd like to watch a rocket launch. I think it's probably too loud. I think it's very hot. And not dangerous for you to watch, but it's a dangerous thing. It's like a stunt show a little bit. Darnell is here because I guess he stopped texting me. And he said, Happy New Year to you, beautiful human. Thank you for acknowledging who I am scientifically. And I'll say the same to you, and I assume you're already in a suit. Pam said, Happy New Year, starting off 2023 with good vibes and more coffee throughout the year. I will use that future tribute to buy more. So thank you, Pam. And Poe Girl with a wonderful citrus tribute. Said, thanks for being you. And that's all we can be this day and age. It's all we can be. Nail said, if you get Pac, I cannot wait for your research. Nails knows about a guest coming up. Okay, I don't. Pogirl said, get George. I love George. I do want to get George. Molly said, I'd love to see you interact with Abaddon. I guess me too. Queen of the Ring said, Happy New Year, Shining Stars. And I assume they're on today. It's New Year's Day. They can just sit and watch wrestling. If you want to watch some Joshi wrestling, a lot has been going on in that world. Go watch the Church of Joshi today at 12 or 1 on their Twitch. I can't remember. Sorry. Zoel said, you need to bring Rebel on in 2023. The pleather pants discussion would be a must-see. I can't believe she always wears them. God bless her, and I hope her skin is okay. Captain said, get a little more budget. Maybe not George Takei, but I do know Garrett Wang is a wrestling fan. Well, tell him to come sit down. We'll have a fun time. I want to get Mario Cantone. Flower Boy said, who is your most funniest guest on Hey W? They're all like my children. I can certainly say the least funny guest was Danhausen because it was annoying before. And, you come to this company, you're all excited. It's the big time stuff. And then he's still with you. So that's depressing to me personally. Squirrel Squad said, honestly, if you have Tony Shalhoub and I don't get to draw him, I will shed a tear. Me and Shalhoub would need a portrait like Don Callis and Kenny Omega have. We need a gold framed. Oh, speaking of gold framed, but we need a serious portrait. That's a historical moment. It needs to look like Washington crossing the Delaware. Ali said, when you get Bryan Danielson, will you ask him why he lies about Danhausen? Sure. I mean, I do too. Major Fomo said, do a Frost Nixon style interview with Stanley Tucci. Me and Stanley Tucci just combust. Don't talk about a feud. Rod said, can we follow up on the fact that Dennis Farina hands out trophies to his co-stars? Does he just go to, put the, Paul on it, some engraving? Like, what are they? Are they soccer trophies? Are they just little cups? I want to know more about this. Captain Quinn said, Star Trek is canon in wrestling and vice versa. Human Adventure said, I just want to say that RJ is my style choice of entertainment. Also really enjoy how Paul picked up on a lot of the jokes. They were questions. Leo said, I spent the new year watching my 600-pound life clip, but it was actually upsetting and sad clip. I love that doctor. I think his name's Dr. Now, and he's like, lay off the sugary drinks. Try to not have Sprite. And it's like, doctor, what are you doing? There was some other business I wanted to talk about. Oh, I did. Let me get through this first, and then I'll talk about it. Nail said, "Oh, I'd love for you to have Prince and Na." Captain Quinn said, "I had coffee this morning with some Irish cream made last year." There's the last year joke. Well done. Christine said, "What's a bigger milestone for Hey? 1 year anniversary or 50 episodes?" Well, I think we'll hit 50 episodes somewhere near the 1 year anniversary, and I think the 1 year is I would probably be easier. It sounds nicer, right? 50 episodes, maybe 100 episodes. As I promised, if we do hit 100 episodes, I will be wearing the leather pants and plaid shirt that Billy Crystal did when he hosted Saturday Night Live in 1984. Miss Annie said, Pedro Morales nipples. There's a thing I never thought I would hear. Well, it was always on the front of my head. Queen said, breakfast pint, lunch pint, dinner pint. I think so. Leo said, I love Earl Grey. It reminds me of my grandmother, whose name was Grey. There we go. Christy said, how about bad mamma jamma emoji? Again, I don't know if I can just. I mean, I know he's giving me it, but paperwork wise. Greg said, best interaction with large performance I've ever witnessed. Amanda seconds a Sylvia emoji. Rob said, you say we can't have a Hey W emoji here, but we noticed you snuck on non-AW merch into the show today. That was not merch. Those were my baby face chunks. So I don't think it counts. Also, it doesn't work both ways. The offending party is usually the one with the least amount of money. Darnell said, what's your favorite New Year's movie? What gets you in the New Year's spirit? I wanted to also say, first of all, BS said, hi, RJ, watching Hey W, and it was hilarious. And that's not Paul Wight, because Paul Wight is no more BS. So that's not him. I want to say I was in a health food store yesterday, and they were playing sad, jazzy holiday music, and I was so fucking happy that it was New Year's Eve and that this shit will be over, and that we're done. Like, by tomorrow, it's going to be done. I hate the forced melancholiness of it all. I don't like it. It's fine, fabricated, pick a mood, whatever, but then to force it on people. Like, I am in a health food store, for God's sakes. I'm looking for ghee. And you saddle me with this? How dare you? And even watching the ball drop, in that whole routine, they do Old Acquaintance. They don't even do the whole song anymore because nobody knows it. They do New York, New York. Great. And then they do, like, What a Wonderful World. And you're like, oh, first of all, tremendous lie. Second of all, oh, people are standing there freezing. They want to dance. They want to move. They got to sway to Louis Armstrong. How dare you? So to answer your question, no, I don't have a favorite New Year's movie. Well, what about, actually, maybe I do. Was the Poseidon Adventure on New Year's? I think it was. If the Poseidon Adventure was on New Year's, because that's how I want to spend my New Year's, watching Shelley Winters cling to a balcony. It would be that one. Pixel said, Happy New Year, coffee is parking. Human Avenger said, who the fuck is Sylvia? This is a cat. Oh, you're kidding. You found out yesterday. Yes. Suplexus said, have you ever experienced anything paranormal? Isn't life just paranormal? Isn't all of this bizarre? I woke up this morning next to a 7-foot-tall, 500-pound man. Do I need to worry about what's outside my normalcy? Let me deal with what's going on. Maybe, but not in a way where I'm like, I'm sure that's what it was. Are there other things going on that we're not privy to in our brains that's beyond our comprehension? Absolutely. But I think it's so far beyond our comprehension that anyone who tries to concisely explain what it is completely lost. Queen of Everything is always 12 p.m. Yes, we're on. So go watch Church of Joshi at 12 p.m. too, on there at 12, but not 12 p.m. too. 12 p.m. Eastern on their Twitch. Missy said a little late, but Happy New Year. It's almost 10. Leo said, I hope Rebel always wears up hands. Every time I've seen her, she does. Queen said, RJ, what's your favorite TRL New Year's special? I don't remember a New Year's special, but I remember when Raven hit DDP with a stop sign on the couch. That was my favorite. Captain Quinn said Garrett Wang is major fun. He's on his wife's Twitch often, and I've met him. Well, I will let you vouch for him then. SM said, hi, Missy. You missed RJ saying he needs to get the kingdom on AEW. Mass Andy said, if you get Mayor Cantone, it would be at least 30 minutes. There's no way to contain his comedic rants to just 15 or so. I know. I'll just have to say one word, and then I'll just walk off camera. Oh, Lord. I've lost my place. It's this weird skipping thing it does. There we go. Dennis. Yeah. Dennis Farina. Zubin said, just thinking about Dennis Farina interacting with Danhausen has me laughing. I'm so happy that we got to talk about Dennis Farina. It seems to be resonating with a lot of people. Also in that movie is Wendy Malick, who was on Just Shoot Me. So Sierra said, a Hey W with Kenny Omega would be a show targeted to the demographic of me specifically. I think other people like him too. I've spoken to Don. I really have not spoken to Kenny at length, so I don't know how he would feel about the program. Neil said, I think RJ saying the kingdom is what summoned Missy. Captain Quinn said, Pac's accent and dialect is slightly different to mine, brought up on the other side of the river, which is it's like a Geordie thing, which is like what? Oi! Is that the best way to describe it? Human Adventure said, last thing, would you ever embrace your Italian heritage as a wrestler? No. If so, great finisher name there would be Sister Gabagool. Just saying, I believe there was a wrestler that was the Gabagool. It was like a ghoul, that kind of, it was a ghoul wearing kappa pants or something. You may have been late to this. Laura said, wow, this was an absolutely perfect time to come in here. I don't know what time. Amanda said, I'm eating the breakfast of champions, Gushers. God bless. I had a bit about Gushers in my stand-up, how they don't really gush. Does this make me look better or worse? Maybe better. They just kind of drool corn syrup out the corner of your mouth. Amanda said, I said to my family last night, they didn't even play the New Year song, and it made me sad. I had to go play it myself. Rod said, which old acquaintances are you trying to forget? Oh, boy. Who do I not talk? Matt Camp. Leo said, I watched Scrooge yesterday. It will not become an annual holiday tradition. There's a waste of David Johansen. I'll tell you that much. Rowdy Katie said, Poseidon Adventure was absolutely on New Year's. Okay, good. I was confused if it was New Year's or Christmas, because there is a Christmas tree in it, but obviously maybe it was a whole holiday cruise. Suplexus said, 200 Cigarettes is my favorite New Year movie. And I say, good for you. Carl James Fowler said, loved Hey W with The Biggest Showman. Reminded me of an old UK show called The Big Breakfast. Comedian Lily Savage would interview celebrities from her bed. Good work. I think I have seen that before. Travak said, Trav Rock. Happy New Year. You're very funny and entertaining. You and Danhausen need to have your own half-hour TV show. Can you please have Abbott on Hey W? First of all, for a TV show, talk to the people at Warner. They make the decisions. For any guests, talk to that guest. Get them to say yes, and my chair is open. Dong said, Earl Grey is great, but what about a London fog? Ooh, maybe I should put some alcohol in this. Thank you. Amanda said, can't wait to see Babyface in 2023. Any bookings? Not as of yet, to be confirmed. Many have been discussed. I do not know what my schedule is with AEW and other things yet. So that would kind of determine what I can do. Rob said, hi, Archie. Did you stay up last night? Rob, I'm going to suggest you watch AEW. It'll answer all your questions. Captain said, yeah, Geordie accent. I'm north side of the city, too. He's south, near what culture headquarters? That's why he's filled with so much trivia. Pam said the lighting is better. Laura said, I came in on a Whole Foods rant. It was about the music at the health food store. And it wasn't Whole Foods. I would have happily shamed them if it was. Leo hates what culture? Rob said, I thought Pac was from Leamington. Look, I'm not the fucking biographer. Let's get him on the show and let's settle this. Aaron said, last time I had a gusher was in grade school and it was crunchy. But that's because it ripped the filling out of her tooth. And in a perfect moment of irony, Erin ate herself, cannibalized herself. And what an allegory that is for us all. Oh, there's some tweets here. Let's see what they say. Gozer said, "Hey, Hook, hey." It's from the Hook episode. Happy New Year, RJ. Does your bed still smell like Paul? Yes, and I will never wash the sheets. And then everyone else said, Happy New Year. Whatever. Neil said, whoa, Matt Camp is going on the list? No, I just will forget about him. Christine said, could you sing a bit of Still Crazy after all these years? It's hard to sing a bit of it. So I'm going to say, let's sing all of it, but faster. Does that work? Okay. I met my old lover on the street last night. She seemed so glad to see me. I just smiled. And we talked about some old times. And we drank ourselves some beers. Still crazy after all these years. Still crazy after all these years. I'm not the kind of man who tends to socialize. I seem to lean on old familiar ways. And I ain't no fool for love songs that whisper in my ears. Still crazy after all these years. Still crazy after all these years. And then we get into the minor keys. It's very weird. 4 a.m, a crapped out, yawning, longing my life away. And I'm not going to do the sax solo, obviously. I'll never worry. Why should I? It's all gonna fade. And then, things are fading. And, his life is playing in his head. Saxophone, saxophone, saxophone. Now I sit by my window and I watch the cars. I fear I'll do some damage one fine day. And then there's a key change. We go up a step. But I would not be convicted by a jury of my peers. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy. Still crazy. Still crazy after all these years. There you go, Christine. I gave you the whole song because you can't sing a part of that. You can't just say, pick out one verse. It would drive me insane. I'm sweating now, but I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with myself. Andrea was in here, a wonderful producer I was going to talk to, but she left. She was done. She had fuck Paul Simon. Rob said, no, Pack is from Leamington and Newcastle, but he trained wrestling in Gateshead. Well, I can't wait to bombard him with all these questions and have him completely walk off. Rob said, now that the guests know they can get in bed with you, do you think that will help or hurt bookings? I think it'll change the bookings that we can get. We might get Mario. We might get George Takei. Captain Quinn said, before AW, I heard he was around. I never saw him before. I don't know who we're talking about. Rob Legend said, does RJ stand for Rob Jr.? No, because that would be RJR. What, are you out of your mind? Amanda said, a dramatic reading of the lyrics to Say Anything. Wow, I can get sexual too. What? Say Anything. Is that? Okay. This is a dramatic reading of this song. Whew. This is dark. If I die and go to hell real soon, it will appear to me as this room. And for eternity, I'll lay in bed in my boxers, half stoned with the pillow under my head. I'll be chatting on the interweb. Maggots prey upon the living dead. I had no interest in the things she said. On the phone every day, I'll permanently hit the hay. Hey. I called her on the phone and she touched herself. She touched herself. She touched herself. I called her on the phone and she touched herself. I left myself to sleep. At this rate, I'll be heading for electric chairs. I'm only human with my cross to bear. When she described her underwear, I forgot all the rules my rabbi taught me in the old school. You're too young to be this empty, girl. I'll prepare you for a sick, dark world. Know that you'll be my downfall, but I call and I call and, well, I call. So I called her on the phone and she touched herself. She touched herself. She touched herself. I called her on the phone and she touched herself. I laughed myself to sleep. I don't know what I want, and that goes on for a long time. I don't know what I want. Met you on the internet. I called her on the phone, and she touched herself. I called her on the phone. Okay, all right. We got it. I think we got the point there. That's a lot of repetition. What is this? Some electronic? What genre is this? Leo said, "Do you know the Wrestle Rock Rumble? I want Brody, and I want him in a cage. He's got me in a rage. I'm Jerry Blackwell." I just remember those parts, and Ken Resnick having a good time. I did a recording for it, but it was cut for time. Amanda said, "I love a good key change so much. It's important in that song. It's very important to note." Christine said, "I love that you sang that so beautifully and still managed to sass me. I do what I can." Suplexus has said, "Do wrestlers still play cards backstage, or is that only a sexy Andre thing?" Oh, yeah. Me and Taz play gin rummy constantly. Sean said, "Oh my God, say anything." Christine said, "We fall into a Vincent Price impression." That just felt right for that. I felt dark enough. We started dark, maggots, and I was like, "Is this a Poe thing?" Poe, Vincent Price. Captain Quinn said, "Wonderful reading. Bravo." His accent's killing me. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. So Amanda's happy with it. Let's read. There's some more tweets here. Grumpy Omega said, "May your new year be Tucci free." Das Friedenator just said hi. "Now I want all the previous interviews to be redone in this nice bed." It was a nice bed. What was I going to talk about? Oh my God. Leo said, "Have you seen the Andre in a dinner jacket figure?" There's actually two versions, Leo, and they're okay, but I think that style of figure is too skinny. I want something a little more like plush. I was messing around with I most of my posts, I'm doing graphics and stuff, I use Canva, and Canva has this AI image generator now, which I know it's bad and horrible, but I typed in Andre the Giant as a Muppet, and I was very pleased with the results. Nell said, "Sometimes you have to go full Vincent or full Travolta, maybe even full Walken when needed." Walken so played out. Mess Andy said, "Gilbert Gottfried and Michael McKean doing dual Vincent Price impressions on the podcast was great." Michael McKean may have really the best Vincent Price I've ever heard. He has the high, I can do this part, but it's when you get low, I can't do as well. And he nails it. It's fantastic. No, I was going to talk. There's a video I wanted to talk about. I don't think I've ever talked about it before. So I just watched a documentary on PBS about Dick Cavett friendship with Groucho Marx. And then, so back in like the day, the same way that actors who are maybe out of the business or their shows have been done are now kind of having a second life doing podcasts. Like there's an Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast. There's a Boy Meets World podcast with all those people on it. And even just guests coming on certain things and saying that they're, old actors finding kind of like a second life. Back in the day, in the 60s and 70s, with the talk show boom, that happened with film actors. So people like Bette Davis and Katharine Hepburn and Truman Capote realized like you can go on these shows and it'll kind of like boost your career. You sell your books and, whatever. So, they would go on a lot and they took them seriously as performances. It's a good way to show yourself to everyone, especially when you're not getting any movie roles anymore. So the Orson Welles is, gigantic at this point, gray hair, gray beard, cigar smoking, the whole routine. He's in that phase where it takes him like 8 years to make a movie and he's going millions and millions of dollars over budget. And he, incredible actor, incredible director, incredible bullshit artist. And he went on Dick Cavett. And it was like every story he told must have been a lie. There's no way that they were ever true. He ran into Winston Churchill on a beach floating in the water in Italy. Bullshit. He got into a fist fight in a movie theater with Ernest Hemingway. Bullshit. But the craziest one is, and I don't know if he does this shit figuring everybody who could say he's full of shit is already dead, so what does it matter? And I'm an orator, I'm a myth, I'm a legend, like that kind. Yeah, Major Fomo said, so Orson Welles was the Hulk Hogan of Hollywood. Yes, they're always like, well, it makes a good story. That kind of line of thinking. He tells a story on Dick Cavett that, first of all, I think he was born in like fucking Montana or something. But he said his parents were like dignitaries and ambassadors, and or he went to Europe as a child and spent all this time there. And the story is like he was hiking through Austria and Germany and had friends there, and he did whatever, and they would wine and dine with dignitaries. And apparently he's like 12 years old at this point, and the timeline doesn't even line up, and I don't even want to get into that. So just know this story is like totally full of shit. And hold on one second. Okay. Just say hi. Just say Happy New Year. She was meowing, and then get a good look at everyone. Maybe say hi to the people in spaces. They don't know that I'm holding a cat right now. Anything else you want to say, or is that it? Okay. So anyway, let me see if I can tell this story with her here. Okay. All right. Now she's clawing into my back. Now I'm putting it down. Okay. I don't know what she wants from me otherwise. So let me go back to what's wrong with the baby. She wanted attention. That's it. That's all she wanted. So please let me go back to this story because it's Orson Welles and he's having dinner with all these German political leaders or something. His friend that he was hiking with got him into a Nazi dinner party. And he said, oh, at this time, the Nazis was something that, we laughed at. Nobody took them seriously. And he alleges that he had dinner, Orson Welles at like 12 or 13, had dinner next to Hitler. This is the story he tells on the Dick Cavett show. And he said, and this was big. His thing was was before Hitler was Hitler. This is before he was so powerful and evil and whatever. The point of the story was an allegory that he was just another guy. And the punchline of it was, I didn't remember a single thing about him. I found him unremarkable. And I think his point was that evil could be in everyone. But first of all, the story is so full of shit in a million different ways that it was just a horrible, stupid thing to say. Second of all, Dick took it as like, you had dinner with Hitler? And then Orson Welles is basically like, no, you see, he was unremarkable, you see. There's the point. He's like, you don't remember anything about Hitler? He's like, no, you're missing the point, Dick. And he was trying to tell this, fanciful bullshit allegory. And Dick Cavett just took it as, you had dinner with Hitler? Why didn't you say anything? And it was one of those things where, like, he's nobody. It's the people that made him so powerful. And it was like, what? Dick was he was like, you don't remember anything? He's like, no, nothing at all. And then Dick's like, well, maybe, some hypnotism can bring it out of you. And he's like, no, you see, there was nothing to remember about him. And it's the stupidest exchange. Orson Welles is such a verbose idiot. I mean, a bullshit artist in every single way. But what a tremendously stupid thing to say. And then to have it completely misunderstood as, I have lunch with Hitler was the best. It's one of my favorite clips. I should post it at some point. It's so ridiculous. Miss Andy said, I've searched on YouTube. The title of the video is When Orson Welles Crossed Paths with Hitler and Churchill. I really need to see this. And the Churchill story is even more ridiculous. That they were just hanging out at a beach in Italy. And he remembered him, and I remembered you, and we had a good time. Rachel said, oh my God, I'm late, and I got here just in time for Sylvia. Leo said, Virgil said the same Hitler story in 2001. Missy said, your cat is adorable. Yes. Jessamine Duke said, I stepped away for 5 minutes, and when I come back, he's holding Sylvia and telling an Orson Welles story. This is the best. No, you're missing the point, Dick. He was unremarkable, you see. And I don't understand. Did you ate with him? You fed him? No, I didn't feed him. It was just a story. Shut up. Captain said, here's a thought. Would you go back in time and stop Hitler? I have so many questions about time, and I certainly would not want to make anything worse. So you got to answer all those time questions first before I can even, I want to, I just don't want to mess anything up further. Pogro said that's where he got dinner with Andre from. Yes. Mia said, have you done the intros to A Different World? I've not yet. What did I watch this time? Reba, I think, was the one I just did. And there are more to come, so hang in there. Rachel said, I love how he accentuates Dick. You're missing the point, Dick. Major Fomo said, sounds like a lunch with Hitler. I'm sure he thought, oh, yes. And then I'm sure he thought of some weird Hitler lunch play to write. Knowing Orson, I'm sure it's scribbled on a napkin. Andy said, have you seen Mank, the movie about the making of Citizen Kane? I've not. I need to. I've seen a few documentaries on kind of that same area, and I do. Maureen said, did you put cream in your coffee? No, I have one stevia. Christine has gifted 5 memberships. So Missy, Izzy, Zoel, David, Best Moments, all got memberships. This is how sweet. Zubin said, I will at some point today say, you're missing the point, Dick. To one of my friends. It's so, and I'm adding words that are not there. I'm playing this exaggerated scene, but it's all there. You had dinner with him? No, you don't. You're missing and did you feed him? What, did he have lunch? Did he have something for lunch? No. He was unremarkable, you see. I didn't know it was him. Then how did you know it was him? It's an allegory. 60-second scene from Leo. Virgil talking about his dinner with Hitler. Okay. He wouldn't pay the $20. I sat there at the table and I said, hey, what's going on? And he said who he is. And you know what? I'm here to sell. You know, I'm not here to eat. If you want to eat, that's fine. But I got my pictures on the table. I got my t-shirts on the table. It's merch time. The fuck money, but money fuck also as well. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at him and I said, what's your name? And he said, no, I just want you to sign it. And I said, well, do you want the one with me, just me, or me and Ted DiBiase, or Hogan punching me in the back of the head? Which one do you want? 'Cause they're more expensive, even though they didn't sign them. But I could write Hulk Hogan's name if you want me to. And he walked away. He said, you're a ridiculous man or whatever. And that's fine. I don't know who he is either. And the scene. Ali said, your comments on the changes to Reba's theme song were awesome. It was very interesting. I'm happy we can break those things down. Captain said, exactly, RJ. Got to think about the consequences of time travel. Worth a thought experiment, though. Well, I guess it could be whatever you want, but I need to know what that is. And I also want to go, can I come back? I have too many questions. That's a question for like a whole episode. Rachel said, for those of us who love it, please, a New Year hair shakeout. Oh my God. It's ridiculous. You've seen a cat, you've seen me jump and spin, and now here's this. There. Is that better? Worse? I've made it so much worse now. Dear Lord. There we go. Whatever. Yeah, happy. Vanessa just has a wonderful periwinkle tribute. And thank you, Vanessa. That's so sweet of you. Miss Andy said a few years ago, Virgil watched SummerSlam with some of my friends for a small fee and some lunch. I don't blame the man. Leo said a picture of an old Hulk Hogan punching Virgil in the back of the head while he's drinking coffee. Leo said, would you rather hang out with Virgil or Ryback? I've hung out with Virgil before. I think I would still take Virgil. Rod said, what's Virgil's rider for lunch? It's just a big piece of paper and black letters says lunch. Ali said, the hair shakeout is so much better. Rob said, you're kind of a performing monkey. Yeah, but what you don't understand is did this myself. You know what I mean? Like if it was just a monkey and there was no guy in a hat, it was just a monkey with his own box and organ and shit, and he did it all himself. And said, I think that people want to see this, and then he resented it anyway. The difference is that with me, it's entirely the monkey's fault. Laura said, going full bow-tie Ripper romance book cover here. Thank you. Rachel said, Virgil doesn't get a writer. He literally just showed up at a show I was at and just started selling things. He is, an artisan. He's a human farmer's market. Captain said, yeah, I give my hair a little bustle and tie it up this morning. Sublexus said, your Virgil sounded like John Travolta. The $1 million man. I mean, how many dollars is $1 million at the end of the day? Rob said, you need a fez and an organ grinder. I should go to that kind of vaudeville routine. That's next. That's the next stop here. John said, Paul Wight is still shaking after that. Again, I will urge you, if you've not already, and after this video, go watch the latest Hey W. The links are down there. They're all over my Twitter. It's me in bed with Paul Wight, and I don't know what else I can say to sell you on it. As I said, is your hair long enough to make a man bun? Still bummed about Wardlow's hair being cut off. Not really. Not to make a real concerted bun. And I hate how that makes my head feel. It makes me feel like I'm getting a facelift. It's annoying and it's painful. Sean said, everybody's got a price, Sandy. Do you want me to wear the sparkly pink one? Vanessa said, we need a young RJ City dinner with Orson Welles skit. He was unremarkable, you see. I didn't remember, you're just a person, you're just nobody until somebody's saying, oh, we'll pay money to see you in your underwear or get in bed with that giant man, you see. And then he was at that stage of largeness where he was like chewing on his own breath. Nell said, I feel like giving Virgil money is a fan experience in itself. Oh my God, yes. There's like a petting zoo quality to it. Foul Tarnish said, how do I get my hair as great as yours? Well, I would say wash your hair in cold water. This is very good for you. Also aloe vera and hydrate. So 2 of the answers are water. Allie said, if you bring back your reacts to trailers videos, Face Off would be a good option. I'm sure I will at some point. I just got really caught up in the interest of theme song. You know what I'm talking about. The interest of sitcoms. That's what I was going to say. I couldn't help myself. And there's so many out there. And I'm in that mood. I'm sure I will go back one day. Don't worry about it. Nell said, I'm scared to see what Wardlow looks like. But didn't he have short hair when I wrestled him? He's handsome. He's a handsome fella. So no matter what. So dangerous to cut someone's hair with like a non-styling scissor. That's ridiculous. Matt Sandy said, Orson Welles' best known performances were as Lou Lord and Unicron. One of his best performances was Mrs. I'm probably sure that has more views than any of his movies, is that Paul Masson champagne. There is a California fermented in the bottle is vintage dated. The French. That one I'm sure has more views, and the Mrs. Buckley. Was it Mrs. Buckley's Peas? That one I'm sure has more views than anything else he ever did, which is the best. Captain said, I can do a bun, but no thanks. I don't want to stretch the face. Leo said, what about if Wardlow ends up with 2009 Tyson Kidd hair? That was like a steampunk Pee Wee Herman that he had. It was, look, and I'm all for wrestlers having a distinct look, and it tells you that you can pinpoint the year, and I know exactly what you're talking about, tells you that it did its job ultimately in the world of odd wrestling hair. John Woodmiss, Mary Woodmiss to you, said, try watching Blackadder if you haven't already. The sarcastic comedy's on par. I watched Blackadder so long ago. I was a kid. I got zero of the historical context. I just thought, oh, more Mr. Bean. And then I thought, why is he talking and not doing anything else? Mass Andy said, I watched the Bob Saget tribute on Netflix, and when they showed Full House, I thought about Dave Coulier wearing hockey jerseys in the middle of the summer. Oh, the writers must have been like, all right, you like the Red Wings. Fine. Tell Wardrobe. We're not doing a storyline. Leo said, Blackadder. I've never heard of that. Rachel said, hair is important. It has to look good. Like Sammy with his long hair made him better than he already was. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Lisa said, you got to watch Orson Welles' documentary, F for Fake. I have, and I love it very much. And you also need to watch Orson Welles' unfinished magic special. It's on YouTube, and I guess they ran out of money or he tired of the whole thing, but it's fantastic. If you ever want to see Angie Dickinson with a gun, but enough about her. If you want to see Paul Wight in bed, you watch AEW. Maureen said, Sammy needs to cut his hair. Oh, don't tell me. Don't talk about the hair of people in other companies, please. It's bad. It's bad business. I'm fine. I'm better now. My voice, what is my voice? I was doing fine and my voice started hurting. Neil said, is Jessamine Duke's dog Orson named after Orson Welles? Kind of. I think so. His name is Orson Wellington, though, because in addition to being like Orson Welles, he's also like a hearty slice of beef, which I guess Orson Welles was too. And he's also, it's a perfect name that really was not being used in popular culture. So I think Jessamine made a quick decision of just like, what about Orson? They should Orson Wellington. It's like, yep, that's it. I don't think there was too much debate there. I think her heart was set on Orson long, long ago. Rob said the final Blackadder scene where they storm out of the trenches is legitimately emotional. Way to fucking ruin it for everybody, Rob. Captain said, watch Blackadder Goes Forth, a comedy show that ends so very sadly. Again, what is this? We just a spoiler thread. Lisa said, it's all true. So good. And we've got excellent taste, by the way. Thank you. Joshua said, Happy New Year. A little late. Dinutus Amor said, RJ should never cut his hair. Thank you. Leo said, there's actually a show by Tony Robinson, who plays Baldrich and Blackadder, called Maid Marian and Her Merry Men, which is said to be Blackadder for kids, and I like it more. Leo, this reminds me, although it's kind of unrelated, there is a Fawlty Towers live dining show experience. I've looked it up before for my own curiosity. Lord. Sandy said, Orson Welles had a talk show, and there's clips of him interviewing Andy Kaufman. I think he was guest hosting for somebody. It is awkward yes, and Orson explicitly does not like wrestling. You're done with that wrestling, because this is garbage. And then he goes on to talk about fucking magic. Leo said, I want RJ to have the hair length he had in the Cynical Crafter videos. It looks so good. Well, I had the undercut. That was the main difference. It was a lot shorter, and it was like, and it's taken a whole pandemic to grow it out. Sean said, I feel like pet names should come to you in a flash of genius. That's exactly what it was. Jessamine Duke said, yes, Orson is named after Orson Welles, and RJ was the one who made the suggestion. Steven said, RJ, you and Paul, the three of us, would make such a good commentary team as long as you don't cross the line with him like it did in AEW. Well, maybe that was a bonding experience, and maybe we could do that again, when Daddy Magic has to wrestle or something. I would love to fill in. I think it'd be great. And look at him. And now Paul's on Rampage, and he's got the Hey video. Tell him you love him. Tell him you like him. Watch the video, like the video, comment, share it, send it to as many people as you want. Let's make a star out of this Paul Wight kid, huh? Allie said, is Sylvia named for anyone specific? Yes, my aunt, my great aunt, her name is Sylvia. Dinutus Armor has joined Citizens United. That's so sweet of you. And I only have a minute to go. And this is going to go to Jessamine Duke's stream with said Orson. Leo said, OK Gamer is the band Orson from 2006. What? Amanda said, Zach Nystrom looks much better with long hair. Good for him. Nails is talking about Diningus. Thank you, Nails. We talk on Twitter sometimes. I forgot to join the shame on me. Well, now you're here. Nails will show you around. Pam said, gotta go. My nap is coming around the bend. Well done. Allie said, Rachel, look up Orson's Pete commercial. Nell said, as long as you're here now. Leo said, remember when Egg sang Brian Adams' Video Grow? No, I do not. Anyway, that is your show. Go watch AEW with Paul Wight. Like, comment, share, that whole routine. Spot Center has a wonderful Golden Round tribute. Thank you for the year of entertainment in and out of the ring. Keep on pressing. Whatever. Let's get a final look, and then we got to go. Jesus. There it is. Good stuff. Good work, everyone. Until next time, Godspeed.